In this video, I'm going to show you the easiest way to sign new clients for your agency and become an absolute lead generation machine. I'm going to guide you step by step in order to create a system that will help you land high-paying clients for your agency while you sleep. So here's how it works. First, we're going to use trifecta targeting to get you in front of the right people at the right time. This is going to allow you to sign new high-paying clients fast. Next, I'll show you the Great Client Multiplier, which is a highly effective system to receive tons of hot client leads without having to do any cold outreach. And lastly, I'll reveal the Case Funnel to you, which is an automated system that allows you to convert cold leads into high-paying clients completely on autopilot. So let's dive in. All right, so the first step of any lead generation campaign ever is really identifying who it is that you're trying to target. What kind of lead, what kind of prospect, what kind of client are you trying to get in front of? Because the fact of the matter is anybody can generate leads. Thousands of them, millions of them even. I mean, leads are literally everywhere, but not all leads are created equal, and not all leads are going to be a good fit for you and for your agency in order to help you get them great results and be fun to work with and essentially make you a whole lot more money. To prove my point here, if I wanted to generate, say, 100,000 leads by tomorrow, all I would have to do is run some kind of major contest or sweepstakes. I could essentially run a promotion to give away a free iPad, or maybe I could give away, if I wanted to generate millions of leads, I could give away a free car. Any car. Maybe something fancy though. The problem with this approach though is that all this is going to do is give me bad quality leads, people that are only interested in getting a free iPad or a free car and are never going to actually want to buy anything or do business with you. They're really just here for the free stuff. This is why when we're talking about things like lead generation and creating lead magnets and irresistible offers, one of the biggest and most important factors to all of this is alignment and relevance and being relatable and actually valuable to the core group of people that you most want to attract rather than just trying to go after any single person with a pulse. Now, of course, the only way to really figure this out is to know who your ideal clients are. So you've got to obviously do your due diligence and your market research, figuring out what they all have in common, what their biggest pains and problems and frustrations are. And that way you're going to be able to come up with a relevant and specific and high value offer to put in front of them. And that's what this is all about. Now, the easiest way to do this is obviously to take a look at previous clients that you've had for your agency before and do an 80-20 analysis on them. The old Pareto's principle, essentially finding the top 20% of all of your previous clients and looking for similarities or characteristics, demographic details, anything at all that can point you in a direction of what they all had in common. Because the fact is that regardless of what kind of niche you're in, what kind of market you're serving, there are going to be overlapping areas that all of your top clients have in common, which could be things like their demographic details, could be age, gender, income, occupation, titles, things like that. Could be geographic details. Even if you're serving local businesses, there's a chance that maybe there's a certain city size, maybe there's a certain country that you get the best results in, a certain state or province or territory, whatever it is. But most likely, they're going to be psychographic details. Psychographic details like their attitudes, their interests, their values, their beliefs, organizations, affiliations, political leanings, religious inclinations, whatever it is, there's going to be something that they have in common. And this is incredibly important to know because when you start to really peel back the layers and get to the core of all of these elements, you're able to create laser-focused messages, highly targeted offers, irresistible incentives and promotions and messaging that makes it basically impossible to say no, because it's almost like you're reaching through the screen or the phone or whatever, and you're grabbing them by the throat and shaking them, not in an aggressive, scary way, but in a, I want to help you, I know what you're going through way. Now, if you're in the early stages of launching your agency, maybe you don't yet have a long list of clients behind you that you can look at in order to find these overlapping details, in which case your primary objective is to go out and do as much research as humanly possible. The best way to do this is literally having conversations with potential prospects. So if you're in the roofing niche, it would be to start to find roofers that you can go have conversations with, figure out what are their pains and their problems and their fears and their frustrations, their wants, their goals, their dreams, their desires. These are things that I call their miseries and miracles. Essentially, these are all the negatives. These are all the positives. You want to be able to really get these things spelled out and crystal clear, because this is going to impact everything that you do moving forward. Of course, you can also take a look at your competition's websites, other marketing agencies serving the same kind of people that you do, and look for the messages that they're putting on their sites, on their content, look for the offers that they're creating and serving up to their market. Again, we don't want to just copy our competition blindly, because most of them have no idea what they're really doing. So you want to be smart and strategic about this, but it can at least provide clues and a bit of direction to get you started in the right place. Now, the reason that we call this trifecta targeting is because magic happens when we combine all of these together in order to create the absolute most perfect and ideal client avatar, an ICA, ideal client avatar, ideal customer avatar, also known ideal target market. Essentially, the combination of these characteristics that make up the absolute best and happiest and most profitable customers for you and your agency. But we've got to figure these things out so that we can know who to go after and who to ignore. So that's how we identify them. The next question, though, is where do we actually locate them? How do we target them? How do we get in front of them? Which, again, much like leads being everywhere, well, your ideal clients are literally everywhere. They're all over the place. They're active, they're engaged, they're participating in different groups and forums and networks and social media places. We can find them literally everywhere. Facebook, LinkedIn, we can find them on Instagram, we can probably find them on YouTube. We can find them through different groups, organizations, affiliations, literally everywhere. The only thing that's stopping you is your imagination and doing just a little bit of due diligence by digging into them. Doesn't matter whether we're talking about targeting the owners of med spas or chiropractors or dentists or people that own landscaping companies. We can literally type in any of this into Facebook, for example, will give us groups. LinkedIn allows us probably some of the more sophisticated targeting options that we can start outreach that way. There are a ton of different tools that we can use for prospecting, including High Levels Prospecting Tool. We can use Apollo for lead gen. We can use D7 Lead Finder. Again, it's basically infinite in regards to the number of people that are in your niche and going to fall into your ideal target market. And then also the channels that we have available to you that you're going to be able to go out there and actually get in front of them. That said, there are a few that I prefer that allow you to sort of get in front of them faster than other methods. The first of which is a LinkedIn search, essentially going in there, typing in a few basic details about your prospects, about your target market, and having LinkedIn essentially go through their massive database of hundreds of thousands of different users and ideally pick them all out for you and put them into a nice, concise list. Another option is to run a Facebook ads campaign. Now, full disclosure, my recommendation on running Facebook ads for client acquisition for agency owners is that you do not do this until you're at the very least 20K a month in recurring revenue and ideally 30 to 50K a month, simply because you don't need to. There's so many other free organic outreach methods that you can use that we don't have to start moving into paid ads. But if by chance you happen to be incredibly good at running Facebook ads, maybe you're running Facebook ads for your clients already, you feel comfortable and confident in running them in order to generate leads, and of course you're going to use the case funnel that I'm going to be revealing to you later in this video, then yeah, by all means you can do it. Just make sure that you know your metrics and your cost per acquisition and all of that, because otherwise Facebook ads done wrong are a very quick way to bleed yourself dry and it's unnecessary. Also, you want to make sure that your offer and your niche and your targeting and all of that is dialed in first, because Facebook ads are an accelerator, not an initiator, meaning they're going to take what you already have, a good offer, a good agency, good fulfillment, and they're going to make it better, faster, but they're not going to get it started. So they're going to make a good thing better. They're going to make a bad thing fail faster. So let's say we decide to do the Facebook lead gen campaign anyway. Well, first select Facebook lead gen campaign, then select your ideal client's age, gender, location, and language. Then a whole other bunch of detailed targeting options based on even more demographic details, different interests, and a whole list of behaviors. And pretty much every single other social media ad platform out there has a similar list of targeting options available for you. But as great and as important as generating new cold leads are for your business, there's another way to generate higher quality and higher paying and longer retaining clients that allow you to essentially make a whole lot more money with a whole lot less work. And that, my friend, is what the great client multiplier formula is all about. So let me walk you through that now. First, let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a client that was just so incredibly amazing that you wish every single other one of your clients was just like them? I mean, they showed up on time for any meetings, they got great results from everything that you did, they ranted and raved about all of your services, they provided referrals, they stayed forever, they were just a general joy to work with? If so, and if you can visualize and remember that person, well, I've got some really good news. And that is that great clients typically know and hang around other great clients. It's the whole like attracts like and birds of a feather flock together, and you're most like the 5 people you spend the most time with, all of that kind of balled into one. Basically, good people tend to hang around other good people, just like sketchy people tend to hang around other sketchy people. And you don't want sketchy clients. So one of the best ways to generate new, high quality, amazing clients for your agency is to simply clone or duplicate or mimic or copy your best clients. Which, seeing as we don't yet have cloning machines, one of the best ways to do this is simply ask your best clients if they know anyone else that's just as awesome as they are. Now, traditionally, this might be referred to as a referral request, but like all things, there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. So first, the wrong way, which is just not asking for referrals at all, or possibly even just blurting out, hey, you got any referrals for me? On the other hand, got the right way, which is a little secret that I learned from Phil Jones. And he puts it like this: you wouldn't happen to know just one person, someone who just like you, who would benefit from, and then just put in whatever service you offer. So let me break down for you why this is just such an incredibly powerful system, starting with the first line, which is you wouldn't happen to know, kind of a non-confrontational challenge style question, something that doesn't put them on the spot immediately with like, hey, give me a referral or send me someone now, or do you have anyone you can think of, or whatever it is. But it also, being phrased in the form of a question, gets their brain thinking and engaged and paying attention so that it'll start to identify people in their network that they might actually be able to refer to you. The next line, just one person, makes the request reasonable and achievable. And it doesn't overwhelm them with asking for like, can you think of 3 people or 5 people or 7 people? It's almost like that old paradox of choice where if we have too many different options, we end up picking none. Well, by limiting it and really like, you're going to find that some of your clients are just natural referral givers and others aren't. So we might as well start with a low request of just that one person. And if they start providing referrals, which they'll tend to naturally do once you've opened that floodgate, then we can continue asking for more. And for the people that aren't likely to provide referrals, this is that really tiny baby step that we can use to get them essentially trained in that, yes, this is what our working relationship looks like. I'm going to give you amazing agency results. I'm going to way over deliver for you. You're going to love working with me. In return, though, part of this and the reason that I'm able to provide such a good service for you is because I don't spend all my time marketing and going out to try and find other people. So if you're able to help with this, I'm able to put even more time into your business. We don't have to say this overtly. Much of that is implied with this one simple line. Next line, someone who just like you, is a flattering, complimentary statement. Also, it again gets them thinking of people that they know that share similar traits, qualities, values, morals, ambitions, etc. So not only are we paying them a compliment by saying, look, we love working with you and you're fantastic and we want other people just like you, but it's also aligning their brain and their way of looking for things in perfect alignment with what you're actually looking for as well, which is going to be helping get great people, great results, and then who would benefit from, and then insert whatever service you're offering. So your Facebook ads, your SEO, your business growth for this, etc., etc. This reminds them of the benefits that you're providing. So someone else who would benefit from lead gen services to help them grow their plumbing business, lead gen for this, sales conversion tools for this, automated systems for this, etc., etc. Again, what you're doing is you're showing them what you're doing for them and you're reminding them of how great you are as well, but also again, helping them find the right kind of person where they can start to visualize who this person is and the thing that is going to essentially trigger their minds to find ideal referrals for you. Of course, one of the biggest factors to all of this, one of the biggest factors of getting the great client multiplier formula to work is actually using it. I know, shocking. It's rare to get referrals without actually going out there and asking for them, which is why it's such an incredibly important part to bake this into your agency marketing strategy. So the next question then is, when should you do this? And I've got 2 recommendations. The first of which is to make it a point of, first of all, you should have an amazing onboarding strategy so that when someone comes into your agency, they get a fast win, they get great results right away, you've over-communicated right from the beginning, you've eliminated all sense of buyer's remorse by over-communicating, delivering a ton of value, all of that. So the best time to then ask is around, we'll say 3 weeks after they've been onboarded, because ideally you're working with like a 30 to 60 day onboarding sequence. This is one of the reasons that our students have such high retention rates with their clients and why they stick around for months, if not years and years and years. Many of my clients have been around for 6-7 years now. And most of that, aside from the fact that you get them good results, but a lot of that, I should say, has to do with just literally this, just an amazing onboarding sequence that sets up the intention, the tone, the style, the way that this relationship is going to progress professionally. Always professionally. You can be friends with your clients too, but it's about results. So when you do it right this way, you're essentially showing them into your world what's expected of them, how you're going to get results. You way over communicate. And if they've done any kind of work with agencies before, this is going to blow their minds because most agencies severely under communicate. They might even get their clients great results, but because they're not communicating and showing the work that they're doing and the results that they're getting, clients still have no idea what they're actually getting and are therefore more likely to churn. So that's first. Second place to ask is after a big win. Big wins can be either tangible, like you generated them X amount of leads, made them Y amount of sales, brought them Z amount of sales and revenue, et cetera, or it can be after something a little more emotional. So you've launched a new campaign, you've finally uploaded the website, you've installed a new automated SMS response system, something that makes them feel like they've accomplished or achieved something very challenging has been taken off their plate and you have embraced that and taken it on as your own. So that is when we can ask for a referral. The worst time to ask for a referral is if something's going wrong or you haven't communicated with them for like a month and then you just reach out of the blue and they're like, oh yeah, who is it? What are they even doing? What referral? How about we just cancel your services? So of course, the way to avoid all of that is by making sure that you've got a good 30 to 60 day onboarding sequence and then you're providing regular check-ins. But that, my friend, is another video for another day. All right. So the next question then is if you're starting from scratch or even if you already have an established agency and you want it to grow, how do you bring in more new leads, more new hot prospects, more new clients? How do you not only bring them in through lead generation, like all of the ways that we talked about through reaching out through different groups and all of that, but how do you actually convert them and take them from cold lead, cold prospect into hot client? Sounds wrong, but incredibly valuable, lifelong, loyal client that loves you, loves what you do, loves everything about you. Well, that, my friend, is where the case funnel comes in. So the case funnel stands for C being coaches and consultants, A being agencies, S service professionals, and E for experts. Essentially, it's for people that want to get clients. Of course, our focus is around agencies, but it's still a catchy name that I quite like. So how does this work? Well, my friend, let me walk you through it now. We're going to use paid traffic for the example simply because I find it's easier to assign values to it, but this is going to work with essentially any other kind of traffic. Organic outreach, social media posting, referrals as well. I pretty much send all of the referrals through the case funnel, but it's going to come down to a few different steps. 6 in particular, some of which occur on the same page, but this is how it goes. The first of which is we have traffic. That occurs here. So any funnel needs to start with traffic. We can't sell someone something if they don't know that you exist, if they don't even know that you're an agency that does things for people like them. So we need to start with some kind of traffic. And again, we can use Facebook, we can use Instagram, we can use email, we can use SMS, we can use door knocking, carrier pigeons, smoke signals, skywriting. Doesn't matter. Literally any kind of traffic is going to work fine. The reason that for this example, I'm going to stick with paid traffic is because then I can actually assign a metric, tangible metric to it so that I can figure out if this funnel is going to make me money or not. It usually does. Next, landing page. Landing page is where we take them next. So after they click, then we take them to the landing page. This is where we're going to do some kind of opt-in. So I'm requesting their name and their email at the very least, and ideally their phone number as well. What we found after over a decade now of running successful agencies, building multiple $1 million agencies, as well as spending over $70 million on paid ads, we need that phone number because this is going to be our highest converting tool possible. Not only in regards to providing the most value to the client, but also in regards to the highest form of contact and also also, again, in a way that's going to allow us to convert them and give them just a ton of value during that call. Of course, a lot of people aren't going to put in their phone call or in their phone number. That's fine. We can follow up with them with email later when they're serious about getting the result that you promised. Then they'll be willing to enter their phone number. If you find that no one is filling out your form, you have two options. The first of which is you can remove the phone number field and you will watch at least your opt-in conversions go up. But the better plan would be to refine the offer that you're making on this landing page. So again, if we come back to thinking way back up here, who are these people that we're using through trifecta targeting? What are their miseries and their miracles? Because when you know this, when you tie all of this together, it makes creating irresistible offers, I don't want to say easy, but like easier than you've ever done before, because we're not even being creative or cute or clever. We're simply saying, hey, you got this problem. We have this solution. I can show it to you if you like. That's kind of it. I've got landing pages that convert upwards of 60% of all of the leads that click on them. And they are usually the most simple of them, being like, hey, are you this person with this kind of problem? I've got this solution. I'm happy to show it to you for free. And then they opt in. Then I show them the solution. And then I offer them the opportunity for me to help implement the solution with them. But let's carry on. So after the landing page, now we have something I call the Authority Amplifier. This would be on the thank you page. The Authority Amplifier is a way of taking that opt-in that's just said, yes, I'm kind of interested in what you have to offer, and really taking them to the next level by showing them that you are the authority, the expert, the leader in your field, and you're able to give them just an absolute disproportionately large amount of value in exchange for the contact information that they just delivered. So typically we'll run this as a VSL. So a video sales letter, which is like a 10 to 15 minute kind of mini webinar, but you can also run longer webinars. You could run literal, just text-based content on it. My preference though, is to stick with something short and sweet and value packed, which is why we pretty much always come back to the VSL. On the VSL, we're going to provide all of the information that we said we would on the landing page. Then we're also going to offer them the opportunity to take the next step if it's the right fit. How do we know if it's the right fit? Two ways. First of all, we've done some kind of pre-qualification, pre-selling during the VSL itself. Are you this problem? Or are you this person? Are you this problem? Are you this person with this problem? Do you desire this kind of solution? Do you match these criteria? Is this something of interest to you? Are you in a position to do this? Is this a high desire thing for you? If they say yes, then we move them through here and we have them submit an application. One of the biggest game changers in my agencies, all of them, from the very first moment that I learned it, was introducing an application form in order to work with my agencies. It completely changed the game for what I was doing in regards to the quality of the prospects that I was starting to work with, as well as the amount of money that I made. Absolute game changer, because it reframed the relationship from me being an agency that was just a simple service provider trying to convince someone, trying to sell someone on hiring me, to being in a position of authority where somebody actually had to apply in order to work with me. So very little has changed. The only thing that's done is I'm asking them a few questions first so that when we do have a conversation, that the power dynamic has shifted. Not to mention, I now have a ton of information that I can use to tailor and customize and personalize my suggestions and my services and the results that I'm going to provide specifically for that ideal prospect. Again, this doesn't matter if you're working in the same kind of niche and you have the same kind of service. Everybody is going to come to you with a different kind of pain or goal or objective that they want to achieve. Some people it's going to be 7 sales or 8 customers or 20 leads or 13, whatever it is. Let's say they want 20 new leads a day. Well, now you can take your service and you can say, all right, cool. So based on this, I think we need this strategy using this. And if this works, we should be able to generate you 20 to 25 new leads a day. How does that sound? Sounds amazing. I want that. Someone else comes to you and they're like, yeah, we just want 3 new sales a week. So you say, great, based on all of this and looking at this, I think if we did this and this and this, we should be able to generate you 3 to 4 new sales a week. How does that sound? Again, amazing. So that's the application. From there, we move them to a calendar. Here's the deal. There's a lot of talk about closing clients without sales calls, doing it over Messenger, doing it over email, having them check out directly on the page. If you're selling like a low priced SaaS offer, just having them DIY it and do it all themselves. If you want to make the big money, you got to have a phone call. That's really it. No client that's going to be spending $2,500 a month, $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month. They're not doing this without having a conversation with you. Sales skills and sales training, that's another subject entirely, but it's a very learnable skill. It is something that I don't think anybody is born with. You literally just practice it and you feel confident in your abilities and you start to really appreciate and empathize with the clients that you're going to be serving and how you're best able to serve them. And you'll just get better at sales calls. But the fact is, do not try to shortcut this step. Do not try to send them to a checkout page or a SaaS booking page or a messenger chat. You can do it, but you're going to kiss 50% or more of your revenue goodbye very quickly. Sales calls pretty much always work better. They have for a very long time now. I don't see that slowing down anytime soon. So carry on with that. Of course, all of that leads us to the call here. So we move them through. We have traffic. We send them to a landing page. On the thank you page, we have the Authority Amplifier. Occasionally, what we'll do is we will combine these pages here. So this becomes one super page. This is actually what we use for the agency accelerator, is we have our super page, I guess you could call it. So what's going to happen here is that once someone opts in, or in the case of, I think the link down below this video in the descriptions, we actually bypass the opt-in completely. And the reason is because when someone is coming to this without having gone through, without being cold, so they're already warm, they've watched some content, they know who we are, what we do, etc. We don't necessarily need to capture that lead. It's more beneficial to sort of move them through the funnel a little bit easier for them. Again, we'll talk about that another day, but the point is we can combine all of this into one page. So on that, if you happen to be interested in working with us, you can check out the page link in the description below. Full disclosure, it's a sales funnel. It's designed to get you to book a call with us. So if that's not your thing, by all means, don't click the link. But regardless, you'll find the VSL on the page. There's the application and the calendar are below that. And then when you fill that out, if you successfully meet the criteria that we feel we can help, then we can schedule a call with you. And that, my friend, is the case funnel. This is responsible for generating countless millions of dollars for our agencies, for our clients, and for our students. I highly recommend that you use it and at the very, very least, have some kind of application and calendar booking for your agency. So you could almost call this the mini case funnel. Would literally be wherever you get your traffic from. And that's going to go to an application/calendar. You can do this inside of things like High Level. You can also do it with Calendly, and this goes to call. Even that will take you from wherever you're at right now and help you to exponentially scale your agency. But to make things more interesting, let's take this and let's walk through some potential numbers of what this might look like. I'm going to walk you through some fairly conservative metrics of what this might look like depending on what kind of clients that you're targeting. So let's start with traffic first, and we're going to run a Facebook ad in this case. Could be an Instagram ad, could be Google search ad, though they typically cost a little more, but Facebook ad, and we're going to say we get a $2 click, a $2 cost per click in order to get someone to click that ad and then head over to the next step, which is going to be our thank you page. So of the $2 cost per click, we then get people to our landing page. Let's say that we've got a 33% conversion rate on our landing page, which again is pretty conservative if you've done your targeting right. So this means that our $2 cost per click now gives us a $6 cost per lead. $6 leads, $6 CPL. Now, seeing as we're going to put our Authority Amplifier on this page, we're going to say that we're also getting a $6 cost per video viewer. So our $6 cost per lead, presumably they're going to watch the video. Most people will at least do that, but then we're going to see a bit of a drop off to the next step. So the people that actually watch the video and they're like, yeah, that sounds interesting. I'd like to know more about that. I think I'd like to work with these guys. Well, then they can fill out an application form. Of course, not everyone is going to do this, which is why we can safely estimate around a 10% conversion rate from video viewer to application. So now what we've got is our $6 video viewer turns into a $60 cost per application. Of course, not everybody is going to show up. We're going to cancel some of that. For easy math, we're going to say just transfer straight over. So our $60 cost per application leads to a $60 cost per call to actually get someone on the phone, to sell them your agency services, to show them how you can help them, so on and so forth. Now let's assume that you're brand new to sales. You've never done this before. You're not very comfortable with it. You feel awkward and whatever the case. So let's say you've got like a 1 in 4 close rate, meaning you got to talk to 4 people. And 4 people, by the way, who are interested and who have applied. So this is a pretty low conversion rate, but like 1 in 4 converts. Well, if we do the math right, that'd be 25% conversion, $60 calls, $240 cost per client. So now we've got $240 to get a client. And this is where, again, we've kind of come full circle back to like the whole agency model and targeting and ideal clients and how much they have to spend and making sure they're in affluent markets and all of that. But spending $240 to acquire a client that is potentially worth $2,500 that first month alone is a very good ROAS, return on ad spend, a very good ROI, return on investment for your marketing efforts. But it gets exponentially better if you can retain them for 6 months, for a year, for 3 years, for 5 years, because now we're spending $250 to acquire a client that can potentially be worth $25,000, $50,000, $100,000, sometimes more. So again, this is why we need to spend time dialing in our niche and our avatar, making sure that our funnel's set, because the amount of money that can be made when we do this right, almost astronomical. And when you put all of that together, that's how you can generate a ton of new clients for your agency while working even less. So if you learned something from this video and you're interested in learning more about how we help agency owners grow to 6 and 7 figures while implementing all of these systems and so many more that I didn't have time to talk about, you can check out the link down in the descriptions below this video. And for more helpful tips to help you grow your agency, I've linked up a video right here that's going to give you some of my best strategies. So make sure to tap or click that now. I'll see you in there in just a second.